What is that?
Oh, it's my light. There we go.
Interesting.
Right? Okay, sir. What can we do as men to self-improve to help women understand us better?
That's hard. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Coach Greg Adams, Alpha Male Strategies, Steph is Cold, MJ Get Right. It's a bunch of YouTube videos out there. That's Kevin Samuels is my favorite. Rest in peace to him.
Right.
That's a hard one, man. The Lapeef Network, Anton Daniels Millionaire Morning Show. Those are just a lot of the male channels that's out there to try to help you improve with finances, business, trying to be a better man. And each one of them talk about something different on their channel, like fitness, dealing with food, how to dress, how to carry yourself, speak, how to manage your money. So it's a bunch of sources out there. It's just...
Where would you personally start? Like, what would you say is your personal ambassadorship to women to say, this is where I can improve to help you understand me better?
Got to start with the person in the mirror.
Okay.
Got to start there and go to YouTube. I hate to say it, but that's the end result. Like, it's not books no more, because I was born in 81.
Okay.
There was no like internet like that out here like that. So the kids that's coming up now, there ain't no excuse.
Right.
There is no excuse, man. Especially if you got your dad or uncle or big cousin around. You combine that with YouTube and books, and you wanting to be better. When you look yourself in the mirror, like, you'll be invincible and unstoppable.
Right. So if I were to give you, say, spiritual, financial, physical, where would you start out of those three? Spiritual, financial, or physical? What one out of those three would you start with?
I gotta start with spiritual.
Spiritual.
That ties into your mentality and your mental state.
Okay.
So I need that clear and solid.
Okay.
Got to have that clear.
What would you go with next out of financial or physical? And by physical, I mean our health, not just like, clearly you're a specimen. So it's not just like it's taking care of, the inside as well as the outside.
I got to go with physical, because you can have all the money you want, but if you ain't got your health right, you ain't gonna be right at all. Like,
that's right.
I'd rather go spiritual, then physical, and then financial.
Right.
In that order.
Okay.
Somebody else's order might be different. So
true.
For me, it goes spiritual, physical, and then the financial part.
Perfect. In your personal experience, without getting too much into it, was there a place where maybe you felt in hindsight that there was a shortcoming on your part that you would look back and say, I should have done that to...
Yeah. And the only reason why I don't tell a lot of people, but I was in jail before.
Okay. I appreciate the candor.
A lot of people don't know that. Like, I was in jail for 6 years.
Okay.
I'm a non-violent offender. I was in jail for drug distribution.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. Like, it's different for me. My outlook on life is different.
I believe that, yeah.
Because, that conviction is like 20 years old. So...
You had a lot of time for the growth and to heal from that.
Right. So my outlook is way different. A lot of people be taking small things for granted, and they just don't know, man. They don't know. Yeah.
Well, it comes back to the man in the mirror, to paraphrase.
Right.
That's perfect, man. I appreciate your time. Any shout outs? This is your second time here. We appreciate you, sharing.
I'm grateful, you're the first YouTuber I met, and I'm grateful, you asked me these type of questions and let me be on your channel.
No, it's a pleasure.
Some people, I watch YouTube videos, they don't even want you being on their channel unless you were somebody and you got followers and money, or you dress a certain way, you got a car or whatever. Like, I'm an average Joe.
No, but that's the kick. You are somebody. That's the kick. So one day they're going to be talking about this channel.
Yeah. But I'm glad you let me do this.
No, we'll have you back anytime you want.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Always,
I
man.
appreciate
Thanks.
your time. Bang. All right. So, what can men do to self-improve to help women understand us better?
Say it again.
What can men do to self-improve to help women understand us better?
Understand our roles as men. Yeah.
Come closer and say that.
Understand our roles as men. So as men, we have a certain role that we have to portray and then use in our day-to-day life. But with how big the community is, we're having no father figures and everything like that. Being raised by our mothers, we still have feminine tendencies. So then with that, it's more likely for us to get disrespected by more women. Even though we seem like we're doing everything right, there's still certain things that we're not doing as in the manly terms for it. So in turn, the women will start dissing us. So with that is what I say. I recommend it's getting a mentor. Getting a mentor, somebody that tells you and shows you how to grow up to be that man figure in your life and everything. And then so that's what I did, and it worked out great, kind of, but it worked out more so now. Everything like that.
So has that personally been something that's helped you self-improve in your own relationship to be better understood?
Yeah, absolutely. Because most people that were growing up with single parent households, most of us don't know when it's time to grow up. Because there's money management, time management, house order, keeping house energy the right way, and there's knowing the order of operations of where you need to go through in life and everything. And you can learn that from a woman. But that discipline of staying on point, that usually comes from a man, because there's certain things women can teach and certain things a man can teach.
So if I'm kind of paraphrasing what you're saying, it's learning from another man, manhood. And so if you don't have that or you didn't have that, you reach out to find that.
Yes.
Where did you find that? As far as finding a mentor and
I
things.
just kept looking, and then I found one randomly. And then, he ended up changing my whole life. My whole work ethic, how I how I move in general now is different because of him.
Right. Now and you say that's helped in your personal relationships as far as having women understand you better?
Yes, absolutely. Because now I'm taking more seriously about plans and goals. Because now I have a set plan out, and I'm not just off in the wind and everything like that.
Right.
If I was selling drugs, different story.
Right.
It's how the rappers all did without their parents and everything like that. But it's that's not my situation.
Sure. Beautiful answer, man. I'll let you get back to work.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
I appreciate you, sir.
All right, I'll see you.
Right. All right, gentlemen. I got Cat Coleman and the angriest man on YouTube asking.
I'm not angry.
What's up, everybody?
The realest man on you. How about that?
You can say that.
Okay, cool.
I don't got no filter. How about that?
So, what can men do personally to improve to help women understand us better?
What can women do?
What can men do?
Men.
What do we have to do to personally improve to help women understand us better?
We need to grow more patience. Because I have zero.
Fair enough.
Yeah, chew that. Okay, well, my thing, I would say communication, man, is the most important to anything. Man, our communication sucks.
As men?
As men, our communication.
We
Well, I guess not all men, but most I've ever heard of women say communication.
we do the bare minimum when it comes to communication.
I guess we don't talk as much as women talk.
And
Is
plus,
that biologically? We're just not wired that way? Or is that a social condition to say, you suck it up, man up, don't cry? We're not supposed to complain. So is it nurture and nature, or how do you think that works?
I don't know. It's just been like that since I've been born. It's always been even conversation. A lot of people
with me,
don't have conversation naturally and all the time. You have to have conversations all the time. It can never be a dull moment, because that's when everything gets crazy.
True.
Is it possible that it depends on what the conversation is? Because a lot of times when people argue about, say, money all the time, that becomes a mundane topic, which then dulls your conversation.
I'm a mission. It's always about money.
Right.
If it's about family, other, important things besides money, then cool. But materialistic chick, I'm straying away from them and low to them.
What if it's like a long-term thing? So like it's like your wife and 15 years in, and you guys are just taking on financial problems rather than, to your point, Aston, just like the girl who wants you to fly her to Dubai for the first date.
First of all, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna shut that shit down immediately.
Fair
Second
enough.
of all, I'm not getting married. That's a trap itself. Kiss my.
But we're helping other people out there. We got to figure out like for the
So
like.
that's him.
Man,
He's the married guy.
Conversation, man. I mean, like
I'm sorry. You know.
well, because even now, like, man, I don't even know, like, I don't even know, but I've heard of even stories where, like, you know, when the longer you're together, the more sometimes that separates, you know what I mean, the understanding that you and that person have,
Right.
and like so far that I even, you know what I mean, even heard of elder couples to sleep in different beds, you know what I mean, who don't even see their spouse or anything like that. It's because of
it's a lot of variables
communications. It's communication.
It's a lot of variables with that,
through times, and then sometimes if you've been knowing this person for 20 years,
True, but
30 years, it's like feel like it's not nothing much to talk about.
It's snoring involved. No dead. Like I've heard, and I've heard a lot of stories about couples.
It's a lot. We try to make it easier,
beds and even in different rooms because they both can't sleep because they both snore. Like I've heard it all. Yeah, that. People like tripping in their dreams, kicking, all that. That's mainly females though.
Oh yeah.
They're crazy. They got crazy legs when it comes to that. Yeah, I've heard certain stories, but you're right though. You're right.
Yeah, to make them,
But there's other variables.
To make a female more to understand us, I mean, it's
we need more patience, and
we need more patience.
They need to try to put themselves in our shoes.
Patience as far as what?
Patience as in
understanding, I guess. Understanding, because sometimes
trying to help them understand us. Because
What do you think our biggest thing to help them understand is about men? Because we've talked about manhood, like what it takes to explain that, but
and you never stop learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a point that you can communicate, or do you think that it's just one of those things that nobody's going to understand until they have to walk it? Because there's the saying that privilege is invisible to those who have it. So if they have the privilege of not knowing the struggle of men, can you truly actually make them understand it?
You can try,
I guess you can, but it's a lot of hoops.
At a certain age, a person is stuck in their ways.
You can. It just takes a lot that comes with it. I mean, if you're down for the challenge, if
and that's
a
what
good woman is down for the challenge,
Okay,
to
patience.
understand it, then that will make everything better. And sometimes it's not a lot of people down for the challenge.
Basically, relationships is all about if you can take each other's bullshit. If you can take each other's bullshit, then y'all good. Like, we all got flaws. We all got shit that, each other we don't like,
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, but
So when we hear the communication from women, what would you say their chief complaint about men is? Because I mean, aside from the I'd say it's a smaller percentage, but a louder percentage that just always says men are cheaters, this or that.
No.
People cheat at almost the same rate, 28% to 24%. So
Even rich people cheat.
right.
True.
Hopefully everybody.
But what I
crazy
don't get, and I have a question for these ladies, is why the do y'all get mad when y'all call y'all guy and he's having a blast with his guys? Like, why the you get mad because he's having fun without you?
Because they're not having fun.
But when you go out on your little girls trip, which I would never let that happen.
And there goes our motorcycle guy.
It's like we let y'all have fun. We don't be complaining when y'all FaceTime us, talking about, oh, I wish you was here, babe. All that, you foolish.
So is that just making them understand, like, to your point about the communication, understanding like, hey, this is the time that I need, like when women say self-help or self-care or things like that, guys don't really use that terminology. So is it giving them a new terminology to understand?
It's guys out. It's guys night. That's what we call it.
Right.
But like I said, they get angry or they get an attitude. When they hear you having fun, when you get home, they got this little, like, whatever attitude, like they turn into a friend. Like,
so is that the patience part that you're talking about? Where does the patience come into that?
That comes into that with that too, but at the same time, y'all need to get together. Get that shit out. Get it together.
You got You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm not.
You did?
Yeah, man. I ain't had my blunt.
Well,
Yeah.
on that, I'll let you get to it. Anything, Kat? Any wrap up? Any shout out?
Edit that out, man.
I don't
No.
know, man. I guess the best thing that I can say, man, is that we need
bright
more
ass light.
communication. The more communication, the more things last, the more things work. You know what I mean? We do our best to show women that,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean, women that the different side of us, the different, you know what I mean, the different things that they can do to even make themselves happy. You know what I
Right.
mean? They
And
don't
I'm
even have to
simple
stress
as
out so much. You know what I mean? That's just understanding. So I don't know. I guess our biggest thing is that, you know, we want women to have a little bit more patience with us, because nobody's perfect, and you know what I mean.
Nobody's
Just as
perfect,
men,
yeah.
it takes us a little bit longer to put everything together.
Mm.
You know, as women think all the time. Women love to talk.
Yeah.
Men like to we put stuff together.
Women like to make
And
shit
then,
difficult.
you know
at
what I
the
mean?
same
We
time,
put it
too.
together and put it out, but you know, it's,
I don't know why.
you know what I mean. It just, I guess everybody just need more communication and understanding, because you can have communication without understanding.
Facts.
You have to understand too and be able to, you know, bounce back and forth of conversation and come to agreement.
You gotta be on one accord.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, gentlemen. I appreciate your
Peace, love.
time.
Yeah.
All righty.
Peace, love, and chicken grease, and then the bite came. How much time?
Where am I sitting at?
Right here. Try to get you in here. Okay, sir. What can we do as men to self-improve to help women better understand us?
Man, that takes a lot to better understand us, huh?
Yeah, what do we need to do? Is there a part of what we do to, like, where we need to improve? I mean, they always say, like, be better physically, make more money, but I don't know if that necessarily
Nah, it's like
penetrates through. Like, what do we need to do? What kind of internal work?
probably like some mental stuff to help them understand us. Like, where we won't be so emotional at times about things.
Right.
To help so they can understand us, you know. Let's see, let me get an example.
So as far as us not being as emotional, or helping them not be as emotional?
Help them not be as emotional.
Okay. So we're actually talking about working against their biology. So what do we do? So we can try to change them, but then if we stay the same, does that actually help them understand us better?
No, you gotta change yourself too.
So as a married man, what's an example that you've had to go through? Like, is there a part where you had to, like, really have a breakthrough moment with your wife to really help her understand your position?
Sometimes it's like a one-way street.
Okay. All right.
So that's a tough question to answer. Hard to think of a question to answer for it.
Right.
All I can say, man, look, use some Dr. Phil.
You some Dr. Phil. Okay.
Use some Dr. Phil psychology.
All right. We had James, one of the new guys. He said, look on YouTube and stuff like that. So he referenced a lot of relationship channels and stuff like that. Is that a place that, like, we should be going to, like, accredited sources, or people like a Dr.
I
Phil?
want to go to YouTube, because anybody could go on YouTube and say whatever. You might be able to learn from it. Like, read books.
Right. Okay.
Read books.
Self-educate.
Yeah. Because you go on YouTube, anybody's a doctor on there. If you try to get some stuff. But yeah, just read books. That's all I can say.
Cool.
Read books and go to some seminars.
Seminars, that's not a bad idea. And even to that point, if you're not just learning from the person, you're probably going to find a community.
Yeah,
since
you
it's a
can
lot of
learn from every,
like-minded
like they
people.
say, it takes a whole village to raise a child.
Yeah. Well, men need raising.
Yeah.
Well,
Continuing education.
Continued, yeah. And Dwayne, he had mentioned finding a mentor, things like that. So I guess finding people, in your alike pool that may have realized a little more success in life or something to that point. So yeah, it's an ongoing question, but I think it's fair for guys to have to explore themselves as well, because I think, and even women need to explore themselves to how they can help men better understand them. Because right now we're just pointing finger across the
Yes,
line.
exactly.
There's a lot of that going on, and even
Nothing
if
gets solved.
yeah, and it's probably a smaller percentage than we actually realize, but it seems like it's everybody. But it's only because all the people that are doing it are in our faces. It's our entertainment. It's in our songs.
Exactly,
It's in our
yeah.
advertising. It's all of that. So it seems like it's everybody, but it's probably a much smaller percentage. So, but for those guys out there, you know, take it from the guys who've been there, because I don't have that experience. So I just need to make sure I'm checking in with the guys. Everything good at home?
Good.
Good. That's it. We hadn't had him on for a while, so I had to make sure I caught him. So we're going to get him out of here. 'Cause it's been about 5 minutes. I don't want to keep you much longer. He's off work, and I'm starting work. So any shout outs? I'm going to let you shout out.
Hey, man, the same people as usual.
All right. I appreciate your time. So imagine you've gone to another country and you are amongst people who speak the language of that country. And there you are trying to purchase something or get directions or even food, what have you. And as you ask people who don't understand you, what do? We might talk louder and slower to see if they understand the words, or we become more demonstrative, like how much do I give you, or where do I go, where do I, and the whole time this is the look you're getting back. Possibly and they can't speak your language. They're not understanding your language. And even what they may say back to you in whatever language it is, you're not going to understand. And so what happens? The emotions get more frustrated, and you can feel it back and forth until possibly one, if not both, just give up because they're not getting through. And this is what happens with many relationships. So if I were to answer my own question, I would say men, learn how to translate. Learn that your language is not always going to be heard over here. It's not going to be interpreted right. They may hear you just like this person can hear you, but they don't know what you're asking for. You have to be able to speak the language of the people you're speaking to and understand what it is they will say back. Doesn't mean that we're cowering, bending, succumbing, simping, anything like that. This is just being bilingual, multilingual. Because when you do this, not only in your intimate relationships, which is a great benefactor, but we often do this in other areas that we don't even realize. We do it with coworkers because we want to be a good teammate, part of the team. If you're in sports, you do that as well. There's communication levels, and you're speaking in your own way. And so you want to get those points across. And so when you're talking about in your relationship with an intimate partner, you want to make sure that you are speaking a language they can translate, and that the language they speak back to you, you can translate. It makes the lines of communication so much smoother. And because all relationships should require this, and probably do, I would say, if they matter, then we want to do that across the board, because all of our relationships, non-intimate, intimate, whether it's your neighbor, coworker, boss, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is, they're all different people, and we all are connected to them differently, but we're going to speak to them in almost its own code. It's going to have a code to it. But that doesn't mean we have to tailor everything specifically to each person that we know. There is a general sense of who we are and what we expect and what you can expect from us. And those are the parts of leadership to be able to take the mantle of communication and say, this is where I'm going to break down for you what I'm saying clearly, and so you have an understanding. And I will do the same for you as well. That way we have a clear understanding. Now, I'm sure that there's going to be some piece of this where it's not just on men to have to lead, or some people may not feel like the need to be led, but it's still part of just who we are and biologically assigned to us: protection, provision, leadership, things of that nature. So to the point of something like protection, I do need to speak clearly to have you understand, in order to protect you, this is what I need, X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm asking you to understand and do in cooperation to keep you safe. It's not a control issue. It's to say, in order for things to be safe, this is what we need. Same thing with the financial, the provisions. In order for us to have the things that we want and be provided for, we have to be smart with our money. We have to be able to say, these are the things that I need. So what is it that I need from you, and what will I provide for you? Only will I know that through the translation of communication. So I think that there's some simplicity to it, but a lot of times it's probably a little bit harder than we want to admit, only because sometimes, a little ego can get in the way, and a lot of times we just don't know where to start. But this is where self-education comes into play. If we can learn how to do certain dances, or learn codes on our favorite video games, if we can learn new ways to do the Bulgarian split squat with goblet, weights and stuff like that, we learn new things all the time. And in most cases, we're learning what we want to learn. So we should either study this and say, this is something I want to learn and I need to learn it in order to have this continue, or it may not be that important and you don't want to put the work in to do that. But when you don't put the work in, we see it. People fail at work. People fail, fail out of school. You fail in the gym. And I'm always an advocate of fail being first attempt in learning. But if you're not really willing to try it, then it's a different kind of failure. It's different when you're putting the effort in and it's just not working, but you're still working at it. So I hope that in itself makes sense. But we want to make sure that those lines of communication are crisp and clear. And through that, that's being bilingual in a sense, or having a translator available to say, this is what I mean by this. And so they can clearly know where you're coming from. As a man, or as a partner, as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a coworker, as a boss, you name it. But these are the steps that I would say would be a good place to start, is being able to translate, because communication is good, but if it's not effective, then it's just two people figuring out, or trying to figure out how much this cost. How much do I pay you? I don't. Never mind. See how that works? So let's have a clear communication. Have a translator. Learn to be bilingual, multilingual. And I think that will benefit in many ways more than we might realize when the time comes. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this, your ace up the sleeve, advice, comment, experience. Thumbs up, thumbs down, won't be mad at you. But either way, leave it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's see other people's responses, and we can read and have a dialogue, that sort of thing. And I'm going to try a new acronym, which is let's do less. Listen, engage, subscribe, and share. So do less. Do less with the channel. The subscriptions are free, and in this economy, that's a good thing. So feel free to take advantage of something free and share. Be a good friend. Be a good, whoever, to these people that you can say, hey, there's a guy with the channel. It's pretty cool. So share. And the rest is always appreciated. So in the meantime, I hope this finds everybody in a place, pursuit, or beginnings of total health, mind, body, and soul. And we'll see you soon. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.